Alrighty. So this is episode what, 4 of the 214
Yeah,
Sports
four.
Show. We got the 4. It's very tired this morning.
I
Yeah,
think we're all pretty
I
tired.
bet
Yeah.
everybody here is. But let's get right into it. We got a lot to talk about. We got to discuss the elephant in the room for Dallas sports this weekend, obviously.
hmm
And there's the Rangers. Rangers are still back into it somehow. So there should be a lot of talking points today. First off, let's start off with this day in DFW sports history. Um, Today's a very special day, very very special day, especially for me. So on September 14th, 2020, the Dallas Stars advanced to the Stanley Cup Finals in Game 5 against the Vegas Golden Knights from a Dennis Gurianov slap shot in OT. The Stars trailed 2-0 at the start of the third before Jamie Benn and 2020's hero Yoel Kiviranta both scored during the period to bring it into overtime. Anton Hudobin finished with 34 saves, and this was the first Stanley Cup Finals appearance since 2000 for the Stars. I still remember watching it. I was with my mom. That was one of the best nights for sports. First time I saw one of my teams that I really followed every single game go to the Stanley Cup Finals. It was, or just a championship for any sport. So I don't know. I don't know. Where were y'all? Do y'all know where y'all watching?
Well, I was watching with my dad actually. I was not, like they had me hooked at postseason, but dude, DFW Sports needed that so bad. I mean, at that time, Dak was already down. Cowboys were just having to start a backup, so we're using Andy Dalton. We already were kind of having a losing record, trying to scratch into the playoffs. Rangers, of course, were doing awful, trying to get to the postseason, still messing up how to get in the 60-game regular season when you have the top three teams in each division guaranteed playoff spots, still couldn't make playoffs. And then you had the Mavs who were just trying to scratch, and they were actually doing kind of okay. And I don't know if the bubble was actually wrapped up yet. I don't remember. I might be a little bit wrong, or it might not even started
They
yet.
yeah, they wrapped it up. They probably I think the NHL and NBA both played their bubble at the same time.
Yeah, so DFW Sports, they needed that bad right there. We hadn't been to a
Yeah.
championship at that time, since of course the Mavs went to the championship and won in 2011. So that was a big day.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think I watched that match, but I did watch after. I did watch the Stanley Cup. I was like, oh, shoot. The Stars in the Stanley Cup, let me tune in. But I actually, prior to that, I knew they were going on a run, but I just didn't know the time of the games. But then I tuned in right after. Yeah, pretty good movie.
Yeah, the Stars go on to lose in six to the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals. I was watching that. Game one was on my birthday. I went to the watch party at American Airlines Center. That was pretty fun. Anyways, trivia for this week goes along with this day in DFW history. I like doing that. So my trivia question, kind of two, three questions in itself because just asking one might be a little too easy. So, what city did the Dallas Stars originally come from? What was their name? And what year did they move to Dallas?
Holy, the
Okay.
specifics.
So,
I mean, I
I
know the
had to get a
state
little
they come from.
specific because you guys, I think it would have been too obvious to say what city that they moved from. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it
I think I
has
can
to
name.
be. It has to be the city I'm thinking of, unless I'm just.
We literally talked about this like last week.
I'll
I
give a
feel like.
clue if
Oh
y'all
no!
don't
Hey,
know.
don't give me a clue. Don't give me a clue.
All right.
I'll try
No,
to get it
we get
later.
it.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. So, we'll start off with the Cowboys, obviously. So they steamrolled the Giants this weekend. I don't know how much analysis we need for this game because
Jesus.
there's not a lot to say. I will ask this question to y'all: is the Cowboys defense that legit, or was the Giants offense just that bad?
Listen, man, I don't care what anybody says. The Cowboys defense is just that legit. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to be that dominant, but I mean, After that first drive and the first blocked field goal by Noah Benogany, it was just domination by the Cowboys from all fronts. I mean, Stephon Gilmore, like I said, I was hyped about that signing. And so to see how he performed, of course, he had an interception, two forced incompletions, and then had a 12.5 passer rating, I believe, when targeted on the day. Or 12.5 pass rating allowed on the day. So, again, you have two capable corners. You have a great safety core with great depth. You also have a phenomenal D line, and then your linebackers are also deep as well. So what it turned into is 7 defensive sacks against a team that made the playoffs. And then the defense seems to be like extremely fast. I don't know if y'all watching out there, but I mean the Giants legit had no chance. I know Daniel had like no time to pocket because our D line was getting there,
A lot of
but
them were
there's
keeping up with Daniel Jones.
there's no
Yeah.
like, I hate to say it, but this is what we say in football. We say fat guys out there. We don't really have any fat guys. They're all at least they all have this crazy build, but they can all run at least down the line of scrimmage and to the flats with some kind of efficiency. So this defense extremely fast, taking advantage of that Giants O line. And how about Trayvon Diggs too, who's not known for his tackling, popping Saquon Barkley,
Yeah.
having him cough up the ball, and then Deron Bland finishing off the job for the pick six. So this defense, I think, is just legit. Obviously, I don't think the Giants are. We kind of have their number a little bit, but I did not expect that domination right there. This Cowboys defense might be historic this year.
Well, yeah. Obviously, I expected Joe to say that he had the Michael Parsons jersey on. You know, he's gonna go all in on that defense. But no, like he's right. I think it's a mixture of both. It's a really good defense and just like a offense that just couldn't get going. Cause like we all know that football is a game of momentum, and they just did not have the momentum to start the game off at all. And I think it just kind of just snowballed after. I mean, I think Cowboys had what 7 sacks, and I mean this is kind of similar to last year the Minnesota game where they're also just able to just like go at Kirk Cousins. And it's crazy because last week I said the key thing that we need to watch is the Giants O line, and it looked like Evan Neal had never played a game of football. That's just how bad that D line was just dominating
Yeah.
him. It was just absolutely insane. Andrew Thomas, all pro tackle, which didn't do a terrible job, but he could have done a lot better for to like kind of be the best lineman on that offense. So I think it was just a mixture of both. I don't think the Giants offense is that bad. Daniel Jones should not be paid worth that much money, but I don't think they're that bad though. And yeah, like Joe said, the Cowboys defense, I've never seen a defense in a long time that looked that fast. It was like they're getting to the Giants spots faster than the Giants were even getting to their own spots. You didn't really see any Giant receiver make any noise. They were kind of pretty much everywhere Daniel Jones wanted to go. They did let Daniel Jones get out the pocket a lot, and I would say at the start of the first half, kind of when the Giants were in it, which really wasn't the first half, just the first quarter, the Giants were running a little bit, so that is something to like keep aware of. Obviously, when they have the big lead, you can you don't have to pin, you can pin back and just straight go to the quarterback. But at the start, when it was like 0-0, they were running a little bit, so that's something to be aware of. But this Cowboys defense is legit on all levels. They're rotating D line the whole game. No one's really getting tired. Michael Parsons is special, and I'm just ready to see what they can do.
I mean, it's just literally like getting shut out, especially in the season opener, is just so embarrassing. I don't even. So, I mean, I just looked it up. The Browns 2017 team, they didn't even get shut out once. They went 0-16.
Mm.
So, I mean, yeah, there has to be a lot of talk about how bad the Giants' offense just is. I think what made the game so funny to me was whenever we had, I think it was two separate occasions. One time was Deron Bland's pick six, and the other time was the Giants' backup running back late into the game. There's two times where they would play like these kind of screen plays, and the running back would catch the ball, and he would turn, and there's just a Cowboys defender just lowering his
Literally.
shoulder into him, and it would just cause this like movie set fumble where he would just throw it up in the air at like 15, 20 feet. It wasn't 15 feet, but it was just so funny to see this like movie set fumble where he just turns around and the ball just goes up in the air like it's some like Looney Tune. I don't know. It was hilarious for that. But I mean, yeah, you can't get shut out 40-0 at home. It was the momentum.
In the
It definitely
rain
was the
too.
In
momentum
the
It was
rain,
their it
swinging.
was
and
their
still
advantage.
storming.
I mean, I know they're pros, but like they practice in that area and they still got beat 40-0 in the rain at their own stadium. That's crazy to
Crazy.
me. I mean, I
And
would
like the last time we saw them before it started the season, they lost 38-7 in the playoffs. So they've just been getting smacked. They had to wait 9 months, extra months to get smacked again. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine that
that's the
film
worst
session.
part. It's like the first week, man. You've been working all off season every day. I mean, these people have seen their teammates, their coaches. The coaches have seen their players more than their family members, all this stuff. And you go out there and lose 40-0. I mean, what? Like, yeah, that locker room talk, man, I can't. I can't even imagine.
I would have been acting up if I was a Cowboys fan in that stadium. I'm not gonna lie. I would have been acting a fool. You
No,
would
no
have to hold
doubt.
me back. Oh
Man.
my gosh, that was
Yeah, dude.
embarrassing.
No, man.
Super.
It's just like I don't know. I don't know if Daniel Jones is really the answer for New York. But the thing is that at the same time, I don't want to judge teams on week one basis, especially because of what the Cowboys were last year. The Cowboys last year after week one, nobody thought this team was going to make the playoffs. Everybody thought the year was over already. They weren't going to contend. They might go 0-16. But I mean, ended up being 12-5 record, so. I mean, I can't really judge a team based off their week one performance, to be honest.
Well, yeah, after that last week one performance against Brady and the Bucks, Dak gets knocked down. I thought the world was about to end again. Of course, has a hand injury. We have to use Cooper Rush for the rest of that game, and then Magic was being worked, and then we beat the Bengals the next week, and then I believe we went 5-1 with Cooper Rush. Might be wrong with that, but
It
kind
was
of
Yeah, I
four and
think we
surprised.
one.
lost to the
Yeah,
Eagles
four and
game.
one. So surprised people with that last season, but going back to this defense, man, as long people were slandering Dak's stat line, which I could not believe. I mean, it just shows you what that star in your helmet does. But
Oh
man,
yeah.
like I know people saw those drops out there. I know people saw those drops. And when you have a defense that was dominating like they were, why would you think like he should pass by 350 yards? There's some analysts out here talking like he was just having this trash performance or something and missing like crazy spots with drops in the rain, of course, because for some reason his tight ends just could not catch today. I mean, I was fairly impressed with Brandon Cooks. Had a solid debut for being Dak's new slot receiver. CeeDee Lamb didn't have to
Yeah.
do much, of course, but of course when you're blowing a team out like this in their own stadium, there's no reason to pass the ball like efficiently. And that's a good thing because next week they're going to face a solid defense and you don't want to leak a little bit more of your playbook. They didn't have to leak anything else extra for this game because it was over pretty much before the half. So I was pretty proud of that first half and second half performance. I think we'll be prepared a lot for next week against a much better defense.
Yeah. I think I will Dak's on my fantasy team, so I wish he did a little bit more. But honestly, when you beat a team 40-0 and you have two defensive touchdowns as the first touchdowns in the game, that already lets you know that you don't really need to do anything for the rest of the game. So he just did nice game managing, got to the spots when he needed to, got the right routes, and I mean the beauty of the Texas Coast offense, like Mike McCarthy likes to say it. It was a decent debut. I mean, we don't know exactly what they have in store. Like they said, they're not gonna put a whole playbook out in the first game, but I like the play that they're running so far. So yeah, I think the offense did what it needed to do, but we don't know its full potential yet, obviously.
Yeah, I have no problem with how they ran the offense. I mean, I didn't even know that. Joe, are you saying that there's people that actually are criticizing Dak Prescott?
Oh man, I've been looking all over the socials and talking about stat line because it was like I believe 13,
Man,
24, 13, 2400 like something yards.
yeah, it does not matter. And you need to mention that it wasn't just rain. That was heavy rain. It was pouring down. I mean, and it's 40-0 week one. Yeah, just don't show the playbook. You mentioned all the points that I was going to make about that. I mean, there's no reason to critique Dak Prescott. That is just such a Cowboys quarterback kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But
They always do
uh,
It
criticize
makes
Dak.
no sense. Act like this
Always.
dude is like the worst person in the world. It
he looked
baffles my
comfortable in
mind.
the pocket. I mean, he looked good. I think he looked. There's no problem with him.
At least judge him after like next week when there's no conditions, when he's indoors, and you can actually see what this offense does against a solid um defensive line. But when you're telling me that like he played poor when objectively speaking, like if you just watched the game and you saw the drops that he had some great passes. I think Jake Ferguson dropped a beautiful pass,
He
a red
did.
zone target while being
Would have been
triple
a
teamed.
touchdown.
Would have been a touchdown. And
Hmm.
so, I mean, I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's
I don't
just
know.
Cowboys hate, typical Cowboys hate.
Am I
I
crazy or
expected
does he
though.
have a new stance in the pocket too? Like Dak looked a little different in the pocket
He
this
was
game. I don't know.
first of all he was locked in. I don't know if y'all were seeing those pregame interviews. He wasn't trying to hear from them commentators, bro. That man was not listening to what that woman had to say in the pregame. This team
Dude,
all around looks locked in.
They do.
there's not a single person in the media that gives him credit. Like I don't blame him at all. Everybody hates him for no reason. It's just because he's the Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
That man was
So
getting booed for being the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
I know.
Super Bowl
Bro,
pregame.
Eagles
To
fans are
be
just
fair, Eagles
crazy, man.
fans,
I
but
Yeah,
can't
Eagles
stand
fans.
Eagles fans, man. I got
oh my,
laughed at. I was at Disney World whenever it was when we had the pick six against Jacksonville last year, bro. I had my Cowboys shirt on. I was
oh my
so hyped for
god.
the game. Everybody, bro, all the Cowboys fans just like left the park immediately, bro. I got laughed at an Eagles fan,
Oh
an
my
Eagles
god.
family. I was like so pissed off,
Rough day.
man.
That was a rough day. Rough day in the timeline.
So switching from the one New York team to the other New York team, we will play the Jets this Sunday, 3:25 at home. No Aaron Rodgers, so I know a lot of people are blaming the turf for Aaron Rodgers' Achilles injuries at MetLife. Um, I don't know how much we really want to get into Aaron Rodgers' injury, but it will affect the game a lot next week for sure. We don't have to worry about Aaron Rodgers. Um, so I don't know. How do y'all think that this game is going to go now without Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson now under the snap? So what do y'all think?
It's crazy because I was watching that live while we were doing the recording for our shows because we're all doing stuff for our campus for people who don't know, but we're doing like sports broadcasting shows, and I found out literally like live. I was watching it like during one of the breaks for the show, and I was like, "Oh my god, they serious?" I don't blame Jets fans who claim they're cursed, man. Like that's actually crazy. 4 plays this man had, and he goes down. And believe it or not, as much as he's owned us, I've actually like learned to like appreciate him as my favorite
I really
quarterback of
wanted
all
him to
time.
play next week.
I really did too because I wanted to see what this team could do, what he would mean for the city of New York too. The Jets franchise was also a struggle for multiple decades. I would love to see what he could do with such a good receiving core. They built their team around, like the whole image was for him. Alan Lazard came to the Jets for him. Randall Cobb came to the Jets for
Yeah.
him. And then you have his former OC in Green Bay who had his kind of failure in Denver come to New York for him. So next week,
Yeah.
it's just so tragic. I feel bad for this Jets fan base, but um, this defense is gonna be a problem. I mean, I know Josh Allen didn't play amazing, but my God, that defensive line was just getting after him all game. Their run game, I'm not worried about it too much, but their pass defense was sensational. And so you see that they were pretty much glued on Buffalo's receivers almost the whole game. Stephon Diggs had a very good game actually against them, which I did not expect. But Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, they're a
Yeah.
problem. And then, of course, Whitehead, who had 3 interceptions on the day. I believe it's going to be a problem in Jerry's world. No conditions are going to be there. It's going to be in an indoor facility. This should be a very good game. I'm anxious to see how this Cowboys offense can
Hey,
perform against a solid defense. They get an elite defense early on.
you forget the one condition that they will play under is those the windows, the
Oh, you're right.
325
Lights.
Oh
sun.
my
Yeah,
God,
the
that three
light.
I'm sick and
The
tired of that.
sunset.
There's no way they couldn't just put a drape on there, man. Come on, bro.
like a big curtain.
Come
Got
on, man.
up here blinding the kickers and everybody.
It's been a problem for so long. It's been a problem since the stadium has been built.
Been
They
made.
haven't fixed it. They have the money to do it.
Oh my
I don't
god,
know, man.
unbelievable.
It's affected the Cowboys more than the away teams almost every single time.
Pretty much.
So,
But
I
yeah.
don't know. Courtney, what do you think about the game?
So, I mean, yeah, like Joe said, I was so heartbroken when I seen Aaron Rodgers go down, and like it's crazy because literally in 1999, September 12th or something, I saw a stat yesterday. Vinny Testaverde also went down with the week 1 Achilles injury in the second quarter.
Man, no way. That was
Their
no way.
their own QB. So it's
At
like
least it was the
it's
second
eerie.
quarter this time.
Yeah, yeah. At least it didn't happen the first, but like that just shows how
Not
cursed
better.
they are, bro. That just shows how. And then it's really Testaverde. They probably wouldn't have done much better, but it's just sad that that's how cursed they are. I saw that quote when Aaron Rodgers told Garrett Wilson, "I'm sorry, kid." I just broke my heart, bro. I really wanted the Jets to do so good this year,
That was really
but
sad.
you know,
God,
and
made me
it's like a
sad.
39-year-old with a torn Achilles. Like we don't know. That might be the last time we're ever gonna see him play, and so it's just so many questions. But
No,
um,
yeah, I feel real
yeah.
bad, man. I feel real bad about it because I was at the show with Joe and I was watching as well and I just saw him. I didn't think it was that serious, you know? It was a simple wrap up tackle. He got up and then he just went back down. I just thought I was starting to crack jokes. I'm like, man, this guy, it's probably because he switched up all his training routines in the off season for CBD. Like, just and then he actually and then they're like carting him off. He walks on the cart. I'm like, this guy's like playing, right? Like it's not that serious. He's walking off. He's doing fine. Like he doesn't look like it's anything that serious. It's a torn Achilles. I mean, that could just happen to any quarterback. For it to happen for the Jets quarterback, the quarterback that's supposed to save them, in the first or the second snap of the game. I mean, it's just, yeah, I do feel really bad. It's not something that I wish on any team, really,
Yeah,
even the
it's just
49ers. I mean, that is just so unfortunate. I can't believe how unlucky that is.
it's terrible, man. I mean,
Literally, it's like
when I
yeah.
saw that replay, bro. Oh my god, you saw that little pop in there. It looks so. It just
Mm-hmm.
shows you how different the NFL game is, bro. Like that little simple tackle could cause that little twist in his foot, which caused the heel to kind of go down awkwardly, and then cause that Achilles to kind of get ruptured and kind of snap. So
But
it's
it's
crazy.
crazy because even in the NBA, the last one I remember seeing was the KD one.
Yeah,
Literally all he did was run up the court, had like a little hop and just snap.
Toronto, right? The
Yeah,
finals.
It
yeah,
Yeah.
happened
Toronto,
to
yeah.
the White Powell a couple years ago. I remember that.
Did it happen to White Powell?
I
He
even
tore his
remember Dwight
Achilles.
Powell having a
It
torn
was on
Achilles for some
one of
reason.
his trademark pump fakes. He tore his
Oh,
Achilles.
I remember. Nah, I remember that. I remember that
So,
trademark pump fakes.
yeah, dude.
Love them pump
uh,
fake.
the goat Dwight Powell.
Hey, man. Never seen an opponent fall for a Dwight Powell pump fake,
Jesus.
but
Oh my God. All right.
Oh man.
yeah, I think for the game, by the way, the Cowboys Jets, man, honestly, this isn't like worst case scenario to have Zach Wilson over Aaron Rodgers for the Jets for this Cowboys game. I'm not saying this. I mean, it sounds pretty crazy to think about, but I mean, Zach Wilson's going to be more mobile. This Cowboys defense, it does not matter who you throw at them. They're gonna put pressure on you. You're gonna have to be able to roll out the pocket. Aaron Rodgers is good at that, but he's getting old up there. He's up there in age. So, I mean, Zach Wilson, man, hopefully he has the awareness. He has better awareness this year, better accuracy. He could be a really dangerous option against a Cowboys defense like this. Um, but yeah, I think the defense is going to be a real test for the offense. First real test for the offense, obviously. I don't think the Giants' defense is anything that was super worrying, obviously. Um, so I think yeah, with the defensive backs that the Jets have, the defensive line that the Jets have, it's just all around. They're good all around. They don't have a weakness that you can really expose. that's out in the open that everybody knows, kind of like the Cowboys defense. So
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
really
not.
interested. What's up?
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not gonna sleep on Zach Wilson. He was looking okay in that fourth quarter when it actually mattered the most. He was doing his job. That's all
Yeah,
that
he's
matters.
doing a
He's just
job.
doing his
Yeah.
job. Just don't turn the ball
Yeah,
over.
you know,
Give the ball to Brees and Dalvin and let them cook. You didn't have to worry too much about the pass game too much. So as long as the Cowboys can get to Zach Wilson, like you said, TJ briefly, I think it was Courtney. They were kind of getting to the Cowboys in the run defense in the first quarter or so. But of course, after those turnovers, they got
mhm.
down big. It started to change. So I'm kind of skeptical a little bit about that Cowboys run defense to start because it got better, of course, as the game went on as they had to pass the ball more. So the Jets team is gonna have to run the ball more, run down the throats because they don't have the good arm anymore. So with Aaron Rodgers, so anxious to see how that goes.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna keep on talking about the Cowboys Jets betting lines later. I want to also bring up real quick before we get into the Rangers because we have a couple things to talk about. The Rangers, they've been doing good. They on a 4 game winning streak. I don't know where this game's,
Wow.
it's
Crazy.
getting
Hey
recorded on
man,
Wednesday before the Wednesday game. So, but 4 game winning streak. But let's get. I want to talk about this real quick. I don't know if y'all saw this, but Jerry Jones, man. So there's a new thing at AT&T Stadium. All right, and it is a Jerry Jones AI. Full figure of Jerry Jones. You can see him sitting in a chair. You can ask him any question. Any fan can ask him any question. I don't know where this is. I'm sure this is going to be for the season ticket holders, somewhere rich area of AT&T Stadium. Definitely not going to be in the nosebleeds. But what do y'all think? I mean, this is just like the funniest thing, isn't it? It is the most narcissistic crap I've ever seen in my
Yeah.
life.
man, like I said, I mean,
He's such an
this man is
egomaniac.
shameless, bro. He's so shameless. I
He
mean,
really
who
is,
does this?
man. Where the
This
hell is the shame?
man is in his 80s, bro. In his 80s, been on this team for over 3 decades, has won 3 Super Bowls, is responsible for their economic growth and being a world superpower in terms of actual in terms of franchise value, becoming the most valuable team in the country. Why do you need to do this?
You can't
Why
tell me
why
Jerry Jones ain't Emperor Palpatine, dog. Like he is actually Emperor Palpatine.
like the ego you have to even like have this getting crossed over from your table, bro. I wonder who pitched this first to him. I wonder if someone pitched it to him.
It was
Never
probably
mind.
him,
Never
honestly.
mind. Never mind. We
No, it
know. We
had to
know
have
who
been a
pitched this.
yes man.
This is his idea.
No, it had to have been. Yeah, it was his idea. A bunch of yes men just like, yeah, dude, this is great. This is a great idea.
He said, "I'll tell you what. How about we have one of these little things they call AI? I believe it's new in the tech world, and we can have just people ask questions, and I'll answer them in
My
my typical
son
style.
Steven told me about this new thing. It's called AI.
AI. I can hear him
And
saying the AI.
I want America's team to get on this as quick as possible because this is the future.
Oh my god.
And we
Technology's
want
cool though.
America's team to lead the future.
I'm not gonna lie, it looked cool.
It looked cool. It looked cool. But the people in the ad wasn't asking the right questions, bro. Like they
No,
was
of
asking
course,
the
it was
volleyball
such a
questions.
that was
Bring
such
me up
yeah.
there. Oh, I'm gonna get that AI shut down.
We
If
we
I
go we
ask
gonna
any
get
questions.
into some of the questions we'll ask later too. Trust me on that. Let's get started on the Rangers, man. We'll get into that later too. Let's let's get into the Rangers though. So they're back in the playoff hunt. So they just won 2 games on the road against the Blue Jays, brought them back into the wild card. The Mariners supposed to have been losing, so the Blue Jay or not the Blue Jays. The Rangers are second in the wild card standings right now, not third. Not third. Pretty crazy, man. Life comes around quick. So I want to talk really about just how this offense has been doing. I really like how the offense has gone back to its standard. They're hitting home runs, they're getting singles, they're scoring with runners in scoring position. I also like the starters. Really ever since the Astros series, this team has shown that they can still be a good team. I just have a hard time watching them now ever since that Astros series. It really scarred me. I really that was like I don't care how long the season goes afterwards. It felt like the season was over after that series. So what are y'all thought? What are y'all thoughts?
Oh boy, that Astros series, man. Let me tell you something, bro. I have never witnessed a series where we've been competitive in a season that we just like looked like we were just down and out. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we flat out were just getting beat up in that series. Just embarrassed, humiliated. Pitching, offense, both abysmal. I was really impressed to see this team bounce back this past weekend. Of course, not crazy competition in the A's. I would have loved to see a sweep there. But, anyways, we won this series. Just get back in your feet, man. Get back in your feet and have some pride, bro. And that's what we were seeing with this team this past weekend and in the first two games against the Blue Jays. Max Scherzer getting the win last night. Unfortunately, it looks like he's got a little bit hurt. I saw him like while he was actually playing in the game. The commentators kind of got it wrong though, which I was shocked by because he literally was mouthing like they didn't have a mic on it, but you could like see the inform the words when he was mouthing, saying my tricep. He like heard it pop or something. He was pitching a very good game. He didn't quite get there in six full innings, but had a great game. Once again, the offense was looking pretty good. Corey Seager doing what Corey Seager does always. Nice extra base hits. And then the insurance runs late in the game, which we have not seen in a while these past few series. So this team is doing well in the seventh and eighth inning, tacking on extra runs. And then overall, the pitching performance, like with Scherzer last night, has been much improved. And so you need these wins right here against teams that are going into playoffs like you and trying to make the playoffs just like you for this AL pennant race. They leapfrog the Blue Jays. And then also the Astros. I mean, we're talking about wild card. This team's been losing to the A's recently. Division's not out of play. So, it's any man's ball game in this AL.
Only one game out now, right?
Yep, one game.
So yeah,
What's it called? Correct me if I'm wrong, but these couple wins over Blue Jays gives them like the series win over them.
Yeah, they got the
Yeah,
tiebreaker last night over the Blue Jays.
yeah. So I think it's a weird thing because after you go after such a bad series and then kind of just rack up these wins, I don't know if we should be optimistic or we should still stay with the glass half empty mentality. I think this is just part of me just wants to say this is a fluke, but because I mean we just saw such a bad sample size for so long that part of me supposed to say it's a fluke. Obviously, Max Scherzer is out for that right tricep, so we don't know how that's gonna really, I guess, affect the game from till then. I'd say the bullpen is playing a little bit better these past couple of games, obviously, but I mean, to me, this is just a fluke. It's a fluke. They're
I'm
gonna
not
make the
giving the
playoffs, I
bullpen
think,
any
though.
credit. I ain't gonna give the bullpen any credit.
Yeah, that's not happening to me, bro.
They could not allow a run for the rest of the year. I mean, if they do it through the postseason, it's like, yeah, I mean, gotta give them credit. But come on,
That's
I
true.
don't know.
When you're playing so bad and you play a little bit better, that's true. Really can't give them credit. That's how they're
I
supposed
just
to be playing.
can't. I can't, man. They single-handedly ruined this season. But I mean, I think this is the one thing that I've come to conclusion for this team is that the Astros were cheating. The Astros cheated that series. All right, that's all I can come up with. I mean, seriously, though, like I mean, I think Jonah Heim. I really like how some of these offensive players have really stepped up. You see all these players. I mean, whenever we were sliding, there's these. It was really just Mitch Garver and Corey Seager where you could really rely on for good hitting, power hitting, getting it into the gaps of the outfield. That was really just Seager and Garver. You have people like Jonah Heim now showing up. He's getting home runs every now and then. He's also looking better at the plate since his injury. Robbie Grossman was huge last night. You also have players like Jankowski, who has some good games every now and then. Tavares, um, obviously Simeon. They've been picking it up just a little bit recently. So I'm happy. I'm happy that the offense just kind of seems like they've gotten their confidence back. This team looks like they've gotten their confidence back. I will hand it to them. They could have just quit after the Astros series.
Absolutely.
They could have just quit.
Hmm.
Uh, because again, just like me, I'm telling y'all, and I'm sure it felt the same for them. This felt like the season was over. And so now they're winning. Now they won the first two games on the road against a very competitive team that took their playoff spot. I mean, you got to give this team credit, especially the offense. But yeah, I mean, what Courtney said, the bullpen. I know I said I won't give the bullpen any credit, but for these games, yeah, you got to give them credit for keeping the game from not getting out of hand. Um, I mean, there's the game against the A's a couple days ago where we won off the wild pitch in the bottom of the seventh. We're up 1 run, and I know the A's aren't not a competitive team. I guess you could say they are since they're beating the Astros 2-0 in the
Shit, man, they
series
get
in
they getting it
Houston.
done these past 2 days.
They have, but it's these 1 run situations. Like every Rangers fan is cringing whenever that happens in the ninth inning. Everybody knows what's about to come, even when it's the A's at home, and so they got the job done. I believe it was Chapman who ended up finishing it off in the ninth inning. So there's just these players in the bullpen that I feel like we need to be able to trust, and that we couldn't trust just because the whole confidence of the whole bullpen was down during that slide. But there's people like Chapman that I think are should be reliable. And, he's gonna blow a game every now and then. Everybody does. And he's also getting up there in age. He has a walking problem, so it's gonna happen every now and then. But I think overall he should be reliable. I like Chris Stratton a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
he's kind of shocked me. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
I mean, when we acquired him in Montgomery from St. Louis, I wasn't expecting much from either one of them. But the fact that we got a somewhat reliable middle relief guy in Chris Stratton has been amazing to an already abysmal bullpen. I mean, come
So,
on. There
and
is
I
no hope
hope
in this
yeah,
bullpen.
I hope they
But
put Dan Dunning back in the bullpen. I don't like him as a starter. I never really did, even though he was performing really well. I never liked him, and he's now showing he kind of just got lucky throughout the season.
yeah,
I shouldn't say that. I mean, he's a good pitcher. I think he's good as a middle reliever.
talking
Anyways,
about pitching. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just have to ask, how y'all feel about how y'all feel about Brock Burke?
hey man, he was supposed to be one of our bullpen corner pieces for
mm-hmm.
like at least being a setup man, and I don't know if he comes back next year. I'm not gonna lie. He
Yeah,
didn't
cause he
pitch
really did good
bad.
last night. Yeah.
He didn't pitch bad in this series so far, but he has been giving up just home run after home run, and he's supposed to be our best lefty bullpen pitcher. So, well, coming into the season, of course, you can argue he's probably enrolled this now, but he was supposed to be our best lefty bullpen pitcher coming into the season. He's had a pretty decent last 2 years. Um, I'm not understanding what's going wrong this year. I mean, he's just kind of been on a downward spiral. Hopefully, it changes these next few weeks. But Brock Burke, he's kind of been disappointing to me these past seasons. I mean, these past few months. And so, this bullpen altogether just gives up way too many home runs. It's pretty disappointing. So
Oh yeah.
that's my thoughts.
No, I don't like Brock Burke. And the managers don't like Brock Burke either. To be honest, they just don't have anyone else to throw out there. They don't
Yeah,
pitch
you have
Brock
nobody
Burke
else.
in high. Uh, they try to keep Brock Burke. They put him out there usually whenever we're down, or whenever we're up a lot. If we put him in whenever it's a close game where we're winning, it's because we're trying to give people some rest. Um, so I don't know. I think it just all goes back to Matt Moore. Why didn't we sign Matt Moore? He was our most reliable bullpen pitcher last year. He was a good lefty, and we just let him go. We never even picked up the phone to call him to ask him if he wanted to play for the Rangers the year after. And it's a little disappointing because he had a really good year this year too with the Angels, and now
Yeah.
he's playing with the Guardians, I believe. But I mean, this was the thing that we knew before the season started. We knew in the offseason that our bullpen was bad. Our bullpen was not top tier. We had the starters. Um, we got the Grom, and we had Uvalde, all these signings. We had this starting pitching. We already knew we had the batting. We didn't have the bullpen, and we didn't do much to address it. Um, and we just let Matt Moore go, which was just I don't know. I keep on thinking about it.
especially with all the
But
money that they spent in general. The
And
fact that
dude,
they,
like,
yeah,
bro, like this right here defines just. I knew it was gonna happen, but it's just defines this Rangers history right here. Cole Reagans, who is also supposed to be one of our best lefty
you're
pitchers.
gonna bring up Cole Reagans again. I
Oh
can't do it.
man, like, come on, dude. This dude was struggling with us in the bullpen. Gets traded to Kansas City for us to get Aroldis Chapman. All of a sudden, he's one of the best starters in the American League. All of a sudden, this dude's a 3.01 ERA. All of a sudden, he's already racking up all these Ks, going 6, 7 innings every start, and then he's just tacked on a few wins now. So, I mean, I don't understand. I don't know if it's a coaching problem with the Texas Rangers historically. Probably is. But, man, I mean, we have a pretty popular pitching coach in Mike Max. He's been around the league for a long time. He's very respected. But somehow, some way, we just don't get the best out of pitchers here. And I don't know, or at least bullpen pitchers. I don't know what it is. But Cole Riggins has been nothing but money for Kansas City since getting traded there. And I'm not sure why we couldn't just have that in Texas. I mean, I saw him struggle early in the season against Cincinnati. That series was crazy. Seeing
Yeah,
him struggle,
that
it's
was bad.
unbelievable to me.
Yeah, I
So,
remember that. No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Cole Reagans, man. I don't want to hear that name ever again, man.
oh my God, I
He
don't
he came from
understand.
what? He came from the Lance Lynn trade. Was it that one? I can't remember.
Oh, I think he might have. Let me see. He might
All
have been
right.
homegrown. I don't know.
While you look
Uh,
that up, I'm gonna bring up the fact that we have not brought up Evan Carter, one
mhm.
of the Rangers' top prospects. Got brought up for the Athletic Series. He's gone 3 for 10. He's already hit his first home run. He's looked real good out there. He's looked pretty comfortable on the plate. I like his swing. I like his fight. Again, these young people, they have something to prove. So I've really liked how he has played. I think this is good. This is better than having, for example, Duran in the lineup right now. Duran's been sliding. So I don't know. What do y'all think about Evan Carter? I think he's been really good. People were really hyped about him coming up. I'm not gonna lie.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
what's it
go.
called? One time I had seen Joe at the gym and we were talking about Texas Rangers baseball. This is last year, and he told me about Evan Carter. He told me about Evan Carter. This is before he also was in the minors, and this is when I was just not watching baseball at all. So I already was expecting this Evan Carter masterclass, and he did disappoint. He did great. I saw a stat that said he's the first player in the expansion era with a hit, walk, stolen base, and OF assist in his major league debut. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a special talent right there. They have a nice young core. Obviously, Evan Carter, Josh Jung, and I'm forgetting the last names. It's not coming. Wyatt Langford.
Yeah,
So
he's doing really good. Yeah.
they're all doing good.
He's been doing
I
real good.
think after Evan Carter's debut, he didn't get to play the next game, which I think makes sense. He isn't that good against lefties and all that. So I think he did good, and hopefully he can give this team a spark going into the later half of the season.
It looks like he's been giving them a little bit of a jolt so far with the injury of Adolis Garcia, and just absolutely tragic. The Rangers' RBI leader thus far, he was just visibly upset in that Astros series where, of course, he had that little strain injury, which he's been set back with, which led to the call of Evan Carter. Rangers fans have been calling for it for at least half the season now, so you finally got him. He's finally in. I've been impressed, of course, by his bat thus far. That stat was amazing that you pulled up, Courtney, but that throw to home, I didn't realize he had that good of an arm. I mean, it was accurate, it was precise, and then it was with a lot of strength too. So he got the runner at home pretty easily in Toronto. I was
Mm-hmm.
impressed by that
It
put out. So that was a very
made
nice
it
play.
look like Garcia wasn't even gone.
Yeah, very nice play
Something.
from left field. Evan Carter, I'm liking what I'm seeing thus far. Hope he can continue and help us make the playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely like it. Come on, let's get it. Let's get the Rangers got some really good outfielder prospects. Again, Courtney mentioned it. Wyatt Langford has been going crazy this year. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's already been brought up what, Double A? This is
Yep,
his first year in our minors league system,
crazy.
so good for him. Anyways, let's get back into the Cowboys Jets because we're trying to start the wrap up here. We're getting around 45 minutes. I want to get to the Cowboys Jets betting lines. There's a lot that I have for here. Let's start off with the over under in points. Over under 39 and a half points is what it's slated for right now. 39 and a half?
Mm,
That's pretty low.
I expect it though. I mean, I think that makes sense though, because both these defenses are very stout. Um, I just don't know about this game's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for both teams. You're gonna get two solid defenses. Obviously, home crowd plays to the Cowboys' advantage, but I think that's not too crazy of an over under. I see why you may be like a little shocked by it, but when you have two great pass defenses like this, run defense is gonna have to be like very good this game. So I expect the run defense to be the predominant source of success for both teams here. Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, like I said before, you could argue this is one of the best DB cores in the league, right along with the Cowboys. So this is gonna be a really good game. I would actually put maybe the slight over on that, but it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah, I think obviously, I think the injury of Aaron Rodgers had some effect on the lines, but I think the game that they just played against Buffalo, the over under was 45.5, so it's not too down from what they had originally. Uh, I think it's gonna be slightly over. Thinking about the game was 16-22, which is like about 38 points. So I think it's gonna be. I think the Cowboys will score more than 16 points. Whatever Josh Allen was doing is not gonna happen to Dak Prescott. I can assure that. So I think it's gonna be the over. At
Yeah,
least I
I
hope
think it's
that
the
won't
same.
happen.
I think it's the same. Same for me. Just slightly over. I think the Cowboys get a little bit more than 16 points. And obviously, I think it's going to be a little tough for Zach Wilson, especially at the start of the game, just to adjust to playing against a defense like the Cowboys at their home stadium. So, anyways, let's get. So the Cowboys are favored by 9.5 points. Do y'all think that the Cowboys cover the spread? Do you think the Jets cover the spread?
Ooh, I think the Jets actually cover. Like I said, it's gonna be a close game. I don't see how the Cowboys win by 10 points. I don't see how that happens. I
Nine and
mean,
a half is a pretty strong spread for an NFL
that
game.
is incredibly strong for a defense that was top three last season
Yep.
in yards per game allowed. So
Hmm.
I really don't believe this can be like a 10 point victory. I think if we were to win, it'd be um by like maybe 3 to 5 points. But like I said, I'm not counting the Jets out in this game. I know people don't respect Zach Wilson already, but he's been learning under the tutelage of Aaron Rodgers this entire offseason. And so he doesn't have to do as much as he had to, I think, last year. Obviously, they still got Garrett Wilson. They got a little bit better of a receiving core this season. Um, but I mean, there's no ego in this team. They already are getting counted out already. I mean, they're already talking about how Aaron Rodgers went down, how it's devastated the whole team. But they don't want it to be the end of the season for them. So I think the Jets would actually cover that, believe it or not.
Yeah. Real quick, I think. Yeah, I think it's also gonna be a cover. Um, Obviously the Aaron Rodgers injury is gonna affect us a little bit, but I think, yeah, I just don't see the Jets keeping it that. I don't think they're gonna get smacked that bad. So I think it's good, just a good cover spread.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with y'all again here. I think the Jets cover the spread. They covered the spread against the Bills in week one. I think it's more the fact that this is an emotional game. Emotional, first game without your quarterback that you practiced all summer with. They're gonna be motivated to win this game, especially, throughout the season they're gonna be motivated for this cause. Um, I don't think they win, but I do think they cover the spread. Um, yeah, defensively, it's top three in yards allowed, or top three with yards allowed. Is that what you said, Joe, last year
Yeah,
for the Jets? Yeah, I mean, with a team like the Cowboys, where it's kind of a slow march up the field, they don't really do a lot of big plays. I think it's going to be kind of a low-scoring game in a way that the Jets keep it close. But anyways, let's go with Dak Prescott over under 231 and a half passing yards. Do you think he goes over or under 231 yards?
Actually, like I said, I think you go actually slightly under. I think this is gonna be a game of run offense again because um, looking at that Monday Night Football game, James Cook was kind of running with ease on the edge. They obviously don't run up the in between the tackles as much. That D line is pretty stout, but they were running outside the tackles pretty efficiently. So I think that's the weakness of this Jets defense. It's gonna be a Tony Pollard kind of day, I believe. And so that again would cause Dak Prescott to have as much pressure on him. So I think he probably has like maybe 150 to 200 pass yards on the day. Still, maybe no turnovers, I think, but it'd be a good day overall for him where he doesn't have as much pressure for him against this good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this game they're gonna rely on the run game a lot more. Obviously, Dak is in a new system, Texas Coast, aka West Coast offense. So they like to prioritize short passing and I just kind of like play action plays. And I think that's what they're gonna have to rely on a lot. I don't think they're gonna get a lot of deep plays against Sauce, DJ Reed, and I'm forgetting the other cornerback's name. Even though I would say I know Joe mentioned this last like are a few blocks behind, but Stephon Diggs was cooking on Sauce Gardner that whole game. If Josh Allen could have got to him a little bit more, then we could have seen a lot more. So hope I don't know what the CD Lamb and Sauce Gardner matchups could look like, but if this Sauce gets beat a couple of times, I would hope that Dak would go to him. So I'm gonna go over. I'm actually gonna go with the over. I just think it's gonna be a big game.
I'm gonna go under here just because, yeah, I do think it's gonna be more of a running game, and I do think that it's gonna be the Cowboys defense is gonna score some points here this game again. I think there's gonna be some turnovers from Zach Wilson. We saw that the Cowboys can create some problems with fumbling against the Giants. I think they can keep it going with the Jets. I think they create some turnovers, get some points on the board for the offense. I don't think Dak Prescott has to work that hard. Um, and I don't think he has to throw that much for the Cowboys to win this game. Um, Next one we do talk about is the Cowboys defense. They have their over under set at 16 and a half points allowed. Do you think that they go over or under for that?
Listen, like I said, this defense, fairly impressive, fast on all cylinders. Like I said, no more fat guys. But to say 16 and a half, ooh, Vegas knows what they're doing, man. They know what they're doing.
It's a tough line.
Very tough line. I respect the Bills defense. I don't think they're as good a defense as they used to be maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I think Cowboys defense maybe gets slightly over points right there. I think maybe the Jets could muster a few second half touchdowns. I think we can shut them down the first half, but second half they can make some adjustments. I think we give up maybe like 17, 20 points to them. Just a little bit over on that.
Yeah, I think, man, it's so hard because like yeah, it's a hard line. It's a hard line, but quickly I'm not just off my gut feeling. I'm actually gonna go. I'm gonna go under. I'm actually gonna go under. I'm just gonna throw it up a little bit. I'm gonna go under right there.
I think I'm gonna go under too. I think again, it's all about momentum. I think this team is ready. I think they're coming off a shutout win. They already said they want to be like the 85 Bears. They want to have these shutout games just like the 85 Bears. They're gonna be ready, man. Dan Quinn's gonna have them ready, especially for a quarterback like Zach Wilson, man. That is prime. That is prime meat, man.
Mm,
Coming at him.
they gonna be licking them chops before 3:25 on Sunday. Ooh
So
wee. Oh
the
my
next one we
god.
got is CD Lamb receiving over under 73 and a half yards. What do y'all think?
I'm gonna think he goes slightly over, not by much, but I believe that he has to get himself going. He had kind of a quiet game last game, of course, but like I said, we were dominating, so he didn't have to get that active in the pass game. But this is gonna be a much closer game, I believe. He's gonna get more active. I'm gonna think he goes over maybe like 85 receiving yards, maybe.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go over. I don't remember his Giants stats off the top of my head, but I think he went over 73.5.
Mm.
If yeah, so I think he's gonna go over again. Like you said, it all depends on that Sauce versus CD matchup, but I think CD's gonna get the better Sauce.
I'm pulling up his stats right now, actually, because I do want to make this point. I do think he goes over. I think, yeah, what we mentioned again before this episode is Sauce Gardner had a little bit of a struggle guarding Stephon Diggs. I think we can really expose that. CeeDee Lamb had 77 yards, so he went over, and he didn't even have to do much. I mean, he really was not involved in the offense, and I think this is the game where we get him involved in the offense. You have a best defense, you want to have your best offensive players being the most involved. So, I'm gonna go over, and I'm gonna go over by a lot, to be honest.
Mm.
Um, I think he might get a 100-yard game this Sunday. I don't know, but let's go into the rushing game. We have Tony Pollard rushing yards at 83 and a half. What do y'all think? Over or under?
I think over. Like I said, this is gonna be a run game. Tony Pollard, if they attack outside the tackles right there, which I believe we have the advantage in, Tyron Smith had. You didn't even hear Kayvon Thibodeau's name this game, like nowhere. It was almost like he wasn't even there. Um, I believe this run game is going to be very effective and kind of put a little bit less pressure on Dak for the entire season. So there's no need to pass like 40, 45 times like we've been doing these past few seasons. When you have a
Mm-hmm.
nice running back and a solid O-line with Tony Pollard in this offensive line, you can win some games, I believe, against even the best of D lines and front sevens. So I'm going to say Tony Pollard gets about 90 to 100 yards this game.
I'm actually gonna go under, just slightly though, just slightly. I think I'm gonna go under just slightly. I think that it's gonna be a good Tony Pollard game, but I think also they're gonna do it a little bit by committee. I would think so. So I'm gonna go a little bit under.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under. I don't think he got the 83 yards against New York last week, and we were talking about it last week as well on the show that the Giants just struggle with run defense. The Jets, on the other hand, they're pretty strong in that case. So I'm gonna go with under for this game. But anyways, that's all we got for the betting lines. Let's go ahead and get to the answer and trivia. We're getting up there in time. So what are y'all's answers? So I'll put it out again. What city did the Dallas Stars originally come from? What was their name before moving? And what year did they move to Dallas?
Ah man,
I'm just going to throw it out there. I know it's Minnesota.
yeah, I
I
know it's
think,
Minnesota.
I mean, if it's a sport in Minnesota, it has to be Minneapolis. That's my thought. And then I know they were called the Minnesota North Stars because they're the Stars, but they're in the North. Makes more sense they're the North Stars. The year they moved, I don't know, man. I think it was like, because we won the Stanley Cup in 99, right? It's 99
Correct.
against the Sabres. I think we moved in 1995. Could be wrong. So I'm going to go, like I said, Minneapolis, the city, North Stars, and then 1995.
Okay, yeah, I think obviously Minnesota. Minneapolis is the easy answer. So I should probably go Minneapolis, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say St. Paul, just to say St. Paul, Minnesota.
St.
I
Paul.
mean, maybe I have a chance of being right. If I in Minneapolis, I know it was North. It was either North Stars or North Point. I'm pretty sure it is North Stars. And the year they moved, I know we just talked about it last week that they won a championship very quickly after relocating. So if it's 99, 95. Yeah, I'm gonna go 96. I'm gonna go 96. I'm gonna go 96.
96?
Yeah.
All right. So if we want to get into the actual city they played in, it was Bloomington, Minnesota.
Man, what?
But they were called the Minnesota North Stars.
Right.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
where they got the name, the Stars. Uh, St. Paul, Minneapolis, same city. I mean, the Minnesota Wild, everyone thinks they're from Minneapolis. They play in St. Paul.
Didn't know that. Wow.
That's why I was
So-
thinking St. Paul. Okay, that makes sense.
Anyways, so yeah, you guys basically got North Stars, Minnesota. We're not going to count the city because, yeah, they've just played in a suburb. That's where the Mall of America is, Bloomington. So, anyways,
Oh.
the answer to what year they moved. Yes, they did win a championship right after coming to Dallas. It was not that quick, though. They moved in 1993.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Joe was
I
close.
knew it was early.
I was
should.
about to go 94 too, but I was like, it had to be like the Vegas Knights type quick. But nah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
no, that was pretty crazy. Yeah, the Vegas, Stanley Cup Finals first year. So
I know the Minnesota
we
fans
weren't that good.
who
That was
actually
an
cheering for that
expansion
team
too.
there. When they were cheering that team in Minnesota, they were sick in '99.
We
I know they
actually
were sick.
brought we actually brought the Minnesota team with us. It was a relocation.
Yep.
So they had Mike Modano was a huge
Oh
star
yeah.
for the Minnesota team, and now he's regarded as one of the best stars of all time, the
Oh,
best
they
Do
were
stars of
we
all
sick.
time.
They
do
were
we
sick.
know if like
So,
Minnesota fans were like angry? Like I know some. I mean,
oh yeah,
most
they're
teams are.
very angry. They're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
angry. They still
We
hate
got the
us.
wild though.
They
That was their
still hate
team.
us.
That was
Too
their
bad we
team,
beat
man.
them.
In the playoffs, yeah.
Beat them in 6 in round 1 this season. So anyways, let's get in the rapid fire question. One rapid fire question, and I told you guys we're gonna get back to the Jerry Jones AI because I love this. This was one of the funniest things I've seen this week. So what question? If you could ask any question at all, what question would you ask the Jerry Jones AI?
This is kind of crazy, but you remember that little picture that resurfaced back like a few decades ago
I was
Was
about
it
about to.
him and Little Rock, him out there looking up like this right here. I asked him, what were you doing there, son? What were you doing there, Mr. Joe? Hey, none of us know for certain. I'm just gonna
Bro,
pose the question.
I was literally about to say the same thing because
Oh
he
my
looked
god.
very interested. Like you said, like he was up, like he was trying to find something. Like there's no way he was just a curious, like bro.
Ooh,
Save me that, bro.
Black Twitter tore him out. Ooh, they've been waiting for that one. Hey
You
man.
know, there's a lot of things you could ask this Jerry Jones thing, man. You could get real
Man.
vulgar with him, man.
Ooh
There's
boy.
some crazy allegations that
Ooh
he
boy.
has
He
on
literally had
his
an
name.
allegation literally like yesterday or 2 days ago.
This
Not
dude is like
surprised at
Vince
all.
McMahon, bro. He like gets every like allegation in the world and somehow beats the allegations every time, bro. Like there's nothing that can cause this man to sell this team, bro. Nothing.
Dog, oh my God, man! I bet you get kicked out asking that question from AT&T. You know they are not gonna let anything get by with this Jerry Jones AI. They should know that these kind of questions are happening. I saw somebody be like, I'm gonna ask him like what he was doing on Harry Hines last year.
I saw that.
The
I saw that. I saw that.
Hooker
That was
Hines.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Didn't he crash? Man, that's so
That
embarrassing.
the bad
Very
turn, bro.
embarrassing.
That
But of
bad
course,
turn.
nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to him. Nobody really cares that much anymore, man. Come on, man. That is so funny.
Crazy.
Honestly, I think
Jerry,
I would
bro.
ask him, why are we trading Amari Cooper? I'll put the AI on the spot. Why are we trading Amari Cooper? What
For a
happened there?
fifth rounder, no less.
Yeah, what
Oh
like
my god.
what were you thinking at that time?
Oh
I
my
If
don't
I
know,
was to ask
man.
Jesus.
him an actual football question, I'll probably ask him about Jimmy Johnson. 'Cause I know it's just gonna get under the AI
Oh my.
skin
Oh,
real quick.
that's a great
Yeah.
question. That's a great
Ooh.
question.
I don't even know how to ask him.
It would just go
Something.
right into Jimmy Johnson was a phenomenal coach in the Cowboys organization. He won us 2 Super Bowls. It's not even gonna talk about the problems, of course. But my God, like
He's
that
like,
man said he was
yeah.
gonna induct Jimmy in the Ring of Honor. What 3 years ago?
Yep.
Done nothing.
Oh, yeah,
bro.
That man is sick, man.
He got into the Hall of
He made the
Fame.
NFL Hall of Fame over the Cowboys Ring of
Before the
Honor. I
Cowboys
mean, it's
Oh my
unbelievable.
God, man is sick. Oh, makes me sick for Jimmy
Has-
Johnson.
has,
I love
You know
Jimmy
what?
Johnson.
I love Jimmy.
I loved him as a person. He was a
What a-
great person, a great leader.
Oh my God. Just unreal how this man is on the Ring of
But
Honor. Like,
I
it's a
had to
joke.
be the real leader of America's team.
Is there a
He
coach that
had
has
to go.
made it? Before Jimmy, like Barry Switzer or anything, or nah?
Oh, Landry's for sure.
Oh
in
yeah,
it.
Landry, yeah.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
I don't think
yeah.
Swisser's not in it, not at all. I don't know how you don't put Jimmy Johnson in there. He is clearly obviously like when you put him in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, bro. He didn't even have that long of an NFL coaching career. This was literally it.
Yep.
What, like
And then he did little stuff
5
in
years, bro?
Miami, And then yeah.
Like, come on, man.
And he
What-
deserved
what-
it.
Are you
I mean,
kidding
that
me?
was a
Sure.
good, legendary 5 years of coaching. And
It
he
has
brought
been
up,
3 decades.
hey, if it wasn't for him, man, we wouldn't have How About Them Cowboys, man. That is one of the
Oh my
most
God.
That's true.
iconic
That's true.
sports lines ever. All right, that
I watched that video for
alone
inspiration.
needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Bar none.
Alrighty. So we are gonna wrap up here though now. That was a great session, great talk. We have a lot of Dallas sports coming up. The Stars are starting up this month with preseason and the Mavericks start up preseason next month. I'm excited, man. Dallas sports is about to ramp up playoff baseball, of course. So, anyways, we have you can follow us anywhere, Instagram, Twitter at the 214 Sports Show or at 214 Sports Show. It is not the. There's no the in the in um in the handles. You can follow me at tj.krillowitz for my Twitter is tj.krillowitz for Instagram as well, I believe. I don't know. Anyways, Joseph, Courtney, y'all go ahead
Yeah,
and
you
plug it in.
you could also follow us not just Instagram, Twitter, but also TikTok as well.
That's true.
We do post on there a little bit too. And then you can follow me at Joseph_Duffy99 on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah. Follow me Instagram, Seedlings of Life, and then Twitter. We're gonna go with
Clive.
Bro, someone the other day asked, literally also thought my
Uh,
name is Clive. Like, it's a lot more people than I thought that actually thought it was Clive. Like, it's a ridiculous epidemic, bro.
Clive's the life.
I'm gonna go. Twitter is C_Machani.
Alrighty. All right, well, that will do it for us this week. We'll be back next week on September 21st at 9 a.m. We'll always be here every Thursday at 9 a.m. Until then, we'll see y'all.